Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome to Tea Time Tuesday. And I do have my tea here. I have iced tea tonight. Always have to have some kind of tea. Um, it's local tea, it's not Kenya tea. I haven't really made the iced tea out of Kenya tea yet. So, welcome. Excuse me. I'm in the middle of bead sorting. I have lots of beads. I'm trying to figure out which beads that I have that have matching bracelets so I can take photographs of them and post them up on, up on the Shopify store. I've got a couple here. I'll show you real quick. These are really cool. It's like a little black and white, kind of, got a little flick of black to it. And then, of course, you've already seen the black and white ones. And then there's this kind of really cool multicolor one. It's kind of subdued. I think I have a bracelet this color somewhere. I haven't seen it yet. I'm looking for it. And I do have one. I don't know what I did with it, but I do have one bracelet that matches this kind of a necklace. So, and this one's really cool. This is like a really light mint green that's got a little couple of flicks to it, and then there's this shade of blue. They've all got like a little, I don't know what kind of magazines these were that they used, but they all have this little black kind of flick to them, which is really, really cool. Because I asked them to do straight magazines this time on a lot of stuff instead of painting them. So there's one that's straight magazine. It's really cool. Here's a light color one. So I just got all this stuff in from Kenya, so I'm steadily sorting it. But what I wanted to, and I'm going to take pictures and put it up in the Shopify store, and you'll see it posted here too. Actually, here on the page, you can go to the Shopify store. It's right here on the page and check stuff out. And as I'm uploading stuff, you'll see more of it. So it's going to take me a while to take photos of a lot because I got a lot of new product. A lot of new products, so that's going to take me a minute, but I think I'll have a lot of time because kind of at home, but as many of us are. So I wanted to talk a little bit tonight about having grace for others and the importance of verifying the facts. Having grace for others. I mean, that's been a challenge for me because well, first I'm going to say that many of you know I went back to a job recently in December. So, excuse me, I got a little spicy stuff for dinner, and it's kind of messing with my voice. Anyway, I went back to work, and the last 2 days, I mean, I pray before I go in the building. I pray protection around the building. I pray protection around me. I pray for my health. And I go in and like yesterday I left with a headache. And today I was totally exhausted and drained. And it's not because of the work. It's because the amount of stress that everybody has. Like, they're not saying it, but you can feel their fear and their stress. You can feel the tension. You can feel the uncertainty, and I've got a really high level of peace of mind. A lot of it comes from my faith. We're not called to a spirit of fear, but a spirit of power and love and a sound mind, and I keep reminding myself of that as, I just noticed, check out Meow Mix. There's Meow Mix. She's asleep. Usually she's on top of me, but Meow Mix is joining us this evening. Anyway, so I work really hard to keep peace of mind, but there are a lot of people who don't have that, and even though they're not saying things, I mean, I think people are snapping at each other. I kind of sit away from like the majority of people, so I don't really know what's going on. It's kind of like another part of on the other side of the wall, so I don't really know what's going on, but you can just feel the stress in there. The stress is like, it is tense. And my coworker, who sits right next to me, he's like, "Oh, I just feel like I can't wait to get out of here." I'm like, "Yeah, it's, you feel it. It's the stress that everybody has." And I have to make sure my computer works that can get into the network there, but I've been released to work from home, and let me tell you, I am so grateful. But what if you can't work from home and you're not at home yet? I mean, there's a lot of uncertainty, there's a lot of things we don't know, there's a lot of stuff out there, but the thing you have to do, you have to try to have grace for other people, because people are going through their own version of stuff. So they're handling stress in the only way that they know how. Like I'm part of a group where I'm managing this particular group, and we have a text message thread to get the messages out to everybody in the group. And a couple of people asked to be removed. Well, you cannot remove people from a text message, at least not on an iPhone. They have to remove themselves. And then I found out that if you're on iMessage, if you're not on iMessage, if everybody's not on iMessage, it doesn't work. That's what one person told me. But so you have to do the whole text message thing all over again. So I did that. I did the whole text message all over again. And then somebody else asked to be removed. And then somebody else asked to be removed. So then I had to do the whole text message all over again, because one of them tried to remove themselves and they couldn't. And it was like, oh, okay. I guess I'll redo it. So I redid the whole text message group like yesterday. This happened just yesterday. And today somebody says, "Can you remove me from the group?" I was like, oh my gosh. Are you kidding me? Because you have to put in the numbers all over again. And I was having a hard time having grace. She was like, "Oh, I just don't want to get any messages from anybody but my family." And, to me, that I don't understand that. That's like a first world problem. Like, okay, you can't just swipe to delete. But that's me. I have to have understanding for that other person on how they respond and react to things, and have some grace for them, even though I don't understand it and it seems silly to me. To somebody else, it's not. So you have to, especially now with so much stress going on, you have to have a certain level of grace for people, and you have to not get frustrated with people when they're not operating maybe like they normally would, or they're operating outside of what you would think is normal. And it's just like breathe and have grace for them. And I just keep thinking what my pastor calls it EGR, extra grace required. So I'm just like, EGR, 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 have grace, have grace, have grace. And then it calms me down and helps me have grace for that person. Especially now, I mean, we need to be nice to people and not be mean and nasty, because there's enough mean and nastiness with people fighting over toilet paper and all that crazy kind of stuff. And so many people are talking about, coronavirus this and coronavirus that. So the next thing I wanted to get into was the importance of verifying the facts. And in addition to verifying the facts, that's think like a negotiator strategy. Verify the facts. Don't take what somebody says at face value. Make sure that it's true. Somebody was saying, oh, in Orange County, where I live, in Orange County, California, they've banned all gatherings now. This just happened today. And somebody said, is that fake news? And everybody's like, no, here it is. It was, it was posted everywhere. They had the order online that outlined the details of that. So the thing to do, you need to verify the facts when you hear something. And then get off of the news, get off of social media, other than to connect with people and put something positive out there, and maybe watch positive, funny things, because we need some fun and we need some funny, because it's going to get more intense before it gets better. And if you can detach from it, and I took actually a hiatus from social media from Friday night until most of Saturday. I just detached from it. And I kind of go and I look, okay, what's the update? All right, I'm still allowed to move around. That's the only thing I'm looking like, okay, when is it I'm not going to be allowed to go out or go to the store or whatever without certain kind of restrictions? That's the only thing I'm looking for. I'm not. I know some people who are watching every news thing and looking at every video and reading every article, and I'm not doing that. I verify the facts on what is and isn't true, and delete the rest of it from my thinking and from my space. Neurolinguistic programming, NLP, says we only take in 7 plus or minus chunks of information at a time. And if the chunks of information you take are all around coronavirus or, even anything, whatever you're looking at, there's no room for anything else. You have to leave some room for something positive, for something uplifting, or you can get stressed out, you can get anxiety, you can get tense. I know there's a lot of anxiety going on out there. I know there's a lot of fighting, and I feel really bad for the people who are not going to be, or that already aren't able to work. But I think the thing to think about is that this isn't going to last forever. It may seem like it right now, but it's not going to last forever. We will get through this, and I'm just praying that, I think that what they're doing is trying to they're slowly dialing it down to make it to where we're kind of, our motions will be very limited. I think we'll be able to go to the store, go to the hospital or doctor or whatever, but we won't be able to do much else. So now's the time to kind of, if you're at home with family, here's my only family right here. There's one there, and there's one over there. Those are the only 2 family I have that I live with. I don't live with anybody, so I'm by myself, which is, it'll be a little bit of a challenge, but not anything. I've never not gotten through a challenge before, but just encouraging you to verify what is factual and what's not. A good friend of mine that I trust sent several of us a text message saying, "Oh, we're going to be on lockdown," and this was a few days ago, in 24 to 48 hours. I kind of went out to see if there was anything factual about that. Oh, we're not being told. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. It hasn't happened. It may come to that, but, you got to take each day, one day at a time, and not get caught up in what might happen tomorrow. When you get caught up in things that might not happen and worry about things that might or might not happen, most of the time the things you worry about don't happen. I know this from experience. But it just gets you all wound up. You can focus on the present, what you have going right now, what you're grateful for, what you have. Do you have food? I'm like low on paper towels. I didn't get paper towels before this went crazy. And, I'm a little low on toilet paper. So I have a plan B. What's your plan B? I have a plan B. If paper towels, I'll just use like hand towels. But toilet paper, if I got to rip up sheets or jump in the shower, hey, I was a military chick. So think about what your plan B might be if there's something that you've run out of. There are organizations out there that are taking food and things to people. My church is planning on doing that. And I've volunteered to be part of that. I don't know how we're doing that yet and when that's going to happen, but for those people who can't get out to get anything, there are people that will help. There's one of the other brothers from my church who said, "Hey, if you need anything, let me know and I'll come bring you something." And that's true for me too. Like if there's somebody in Orange County that can't get out and you need something, I live in Irvine, I'm happy to help and bring somebody something. Or if you're somewhere, reach out to somebody and ask them for help. There's somebody somewhere that would be willing to give up a roll of toilet paper or a paper towel, or if you don't have enough food, they'll be willing to share some of their food. If you just ask for help. That is another think like a negotiator strategy. Ask for exactly what you want. You're not going to get what you don't ask for. So if you need some help, if you need something, ask for it. Ask somebody. There's somebody else out there willing to help you. A lot of times we want to stay in our little silos and we don't want to ask for help. But if I get to a point where I'm like out of toilet paper, I'm going to ask my neighbor, "Hey, do you have a roll you can spare?" If not, then I'll adapt plan B. But I'm not afraid to ask for help. And then just kind of have a plan. Reach out to people. I've been reaching out to friends and family, asking them if they're okay, if they need anything. Is there anything I can do to help them? I'm here for them or whatever. There's a phrase that says, when I got busy, I got better. Yeah, sure, we're at home, maybe. Some people are already at home. My movements have not been completely cut off yet, but I'm sure that's coming soon. But we'll still have this. We'll still have this connectivity. I'm going to be holding some Tea with a Purpose online, so people can get on Zoom and see each other face to face and talk to each other and have a conversation and enjoy some tea or something together. And I'm happy to show anybody beads because I got a lot of beads. I got a lot of beads. I should probably go back over to my storage and get a few things out because I took some of the new products over to storage. And I might not be able to go get them, but anyway. All right, that's all I wanted to share tonight. Just to make sure that you verify the facts. If you would love to be, I would love it if you were on my newsletter list because I'll send out some updates on baskets and beads, some of the things that we did in Kenya. I haven't had an opportunity to do that yet. I'm going to be working on that this week because I came back, I rested, I went nonstop traveling, and now I'm up and breathing for air, and now I'm going to have some time to do that. But and then Meow Mix says good night as well. So I hope you all have a great night. Just remember, verify the facts, have grace for others, and also have grace for yourself. Have some grace for yourself. Love yourself. Be connected with yourself. Do something that you love, something that you can do in your house. Maybe you haven't read a book in a while. Maybe I've got a little garden outside. I can garden. I'm sure I'll be able to go outside on my patio. Clean up. Find some things to give away. And then connect with people. Reach out. Make sure other people are okay. So I'm thinking about you. I care about you. And I hope you have a great night. Nakupenda.